Welcome to the Unlist. Today's episode is going to be a bit shorter, not as much to cover here, but it's a topic that some of you may consider banal, and I myself consider this more of a non-conversation, but at very least it's going to be a topic that I think needs to be covered in a way that's more fundamental and honest, because you hear a lot about this particular topic coming from the people that are trying to sell you something, the influencers, the shills, the P.T. Barnum clowns, so on and so forth. The ones that are going to be like, the ones that are going to try and like sell you something. And the topic is compliments. Okay, that's it. The word is now out. The cat's out of the bag. Compliments, Shmompliments is what some of you might be saying, because I don't care about compliments, and I'm with you. I don't care about compliments either. However, there are some people who do care about compliments, so I'm going to give the best advice I can give on the subject. A little bit unorthodox compared to, say, the advice that other people may give you, since they're going to tell you to run out and buy this fragrance and this fragrance and this fragrance because they're all big compliment getters, right? They're panty droppers, but they're not. They're not. And see, it's all about the truth. And the truth is, it doesn't matter what fragrance you're wearing. Specifically, it doesn't matter whether you're wearing something that's renowned to get compliments or whether it's some B-side, C-side obscure thing. All that matters is that you have an objectively pleasant smell. And you can achieve an objectively pleasant smell from deodorant, from body spray, from a good shampoo. You can achieve an objectively pleasant smell from a cologne fragrance of a more expensive fragrance. It doesn't matter. As long as you smell clean and fresh, maybe a little sweet, maybe not a little sweet, maybe a little aromatic. You can do something a little different. It doesn't have to be a blue fragrance or a fresh fougere or some kind of shower gel thing. It doesn't have to be that. You can smell objectively pleasant wearing old school Brut. Okay, just good old green bottle Brut. You can smell pleasant and clean wearing that. Okay, Royal Copenhagen will do it too. Paco Rabanne Pour Homme will do it too. One of my favorites, Azzaro. All the way up to the modern stuff like Sauvage, like Aventus. It doesn't matter how old it is, how trendy it is. All that matters is, do you smell objectively pleasant? So you can't wear the Barnyard Oud oils, you can't wear the cat butt civet paste, you can't do it, guys, okay? You can't spray 15 shots of Yatagon and then expect people to think you smell good. They'll just think you smell like you fell off a saddle or something, okay? I like those fragrances. I'm just saying that's the truth here. And then here's the other big truth of it. People are not going to go out of their way to compliment you unless they have other business with you. This is the big one. This is even bigger than just wearing something that's objectively pleasant in some way, like an air freshener for your body, okay? That's a big one. You need to smell pleasant. But the other one is they're not going to go out of their way to compliment you unless they have other business with you. What I mean by that is, if you listen to the shills and you listen to the P.T. Barnums and the clowns, the ones that do the one-arm push-ups with, sexy baby, 50 shots of Ventus straight to my forehead. If you follow those clowns and you go out and you buy all those expensive Parfums de Marly things and, Roja Elysium things, and you think that you're going to be the cat of the walk and everyone's going to be leaping at your feet, then you're deluded, okay? You're fooling yourself. Okay, so none of that matters. Like I said, you can do it with a bar of soap, you can do it with a stick of deodorant. It doesn't matter. What matters is, do they have other business with you? So I'm not saying it's impossible for a total abject stranger to go out of their way to let you know you smell nice. It can happen. It's happened to me. Okay, it has. It's happened to me. But the majority of the time you get a compliment, it's because they want to start a conversation with you. It can be someone at a nightclub who's been eyeing you up. It can be someone at a bar who's been eyeing you up. It could be just a coworker who doesn't want to get in your pants. They just want to talk business, but they want an icebreaker. So they're not going to mention the weather, or they're not going to mention, did you catch the game last night? They're going to be like, hey man, you smell nice. And then they're going to start another conversation. It's the same thing with the bar, or the club. Hey, you smell nice. Is this seat taken? What's your name? They already think you're cute, okay? And I'm not someone who's real super handsome, okay? But I've gotten this kind of attention. So if I can do it, if I can look like this, okay, and smell like Brute, and look like this while wearing my Brute, hey, I smell like Brute. If I can do that, and people still compliment me, I know it doesn't matter if I'm wearing a Ventus batch whatever from 2000 whatever. I know it doesn't matter if I'm wearing Sauvage Elixir whatever. It doesn't matter. They thought I looked cute, or they had something to say to me otherwise, and they needed an excuse to start talking to me. And they will use the fragrance. If it's not the fragrance, it's the hat, it's the shirt, it's your shoes. Maybe you're playing music out loud. I don't play music out loud, but maybe you've got a little boombox or a little Bluetooth speaker, and they heard a song that they liked, and they said, hey man, that's a nice song. I used to listen to that back in the day. That's my point. The fragrance just becomes a means to an end. Those of you guys out there who think that wearing the trendy, happening, it girl fragrance, that they're going to speak to you because they recognize your fragrance, or they're going to speak to you, they're going to say, hey, this guy is wearing a really happening fragrance, so he must be a cool person. That never runs through their minds, trust me. I have never once had an encounter, male, female, or otherwise, where they've gone, this guy wears a really good smelling fragrance, he must be a really good person, or someone I want to get to know more. No. They've already made up their mind before they smell me. They've already made up their mind before they get anywhere close enough to catch my sillage. They were looking at me, like I said, from across the room, okay? They saw me walking this way on the street, whatever. The synapses have already fired, and they've already determined they're going to speak to me. One reason or another, they're going to speak to me. So then they're like, okay, well, he's wearing cologne, so I'm going to say he smells nice. Boom. That's it. It's not about your fragrance. As long as your fragrance is basic. Like I said, as long as it's basic. Hell, I've gotten compliments from Koros, and everyone says Koros is so animalic and so challenging, right? But I've gotten compliments from wearing that. Yeah, like if I wear something like really pissy, like moustache, like I've mentioned in a past video, I wore moustache and it annoyed my friends. Yeah, you're not going to get compliments from that. If you wear Frederic Malle the Night, you're not going to get compliments from that. Eau Clea d'Arabi by Montal, which smells like a horse's ass. You're not going to get compliments from that either. But if it's, objectively pleasant, and they have another reason, they have other business with you, they're going to say something. And like I said, if they're not going to go with the fragrance, they're going to compliment you in some other way. Maybe you've got cool sunglasses, okay? That's my point. And that's the cold, hard, honest truth, is the obsession with compliments, the obsession with finding the right fragrance, with finding the Magic Pied Piper tune that brings all the boys to the yard. That is a cold lie. That is stone cold lie, and they're selling you on that lie. So don't fall for it. Don't do it. You don't need to try that hard. Okay? You don't need to figure out which version of Aventus is the one that's going to make everyone want to have your babies. Okay? That's like the Power Thirst videos. You guys remember the Power Thirst? So many babies, 400 babies. Okay. That's not it. So, now, the few times I have gotten compliments, because the thing is, in my life, I don't get a ton of them since I've always worked some kind of service job, whether it was retail or food or security, and I'm in a uniform. When you wear a uniform, people tend not to interact with you on a social level because your uniform kind of says business only. You know, you're ringing me up, you're the cashier, you're the guy making my sandwich, you're walking around with a badge on, so you must mean business. No pleasantries, no small talk, right? So the white collar workers who wear the business suits, who wear the suit and ties, they tend to get more of that small talk. So they get more opportunities on the job to get compliments. People like me, us blue collar folks, again, tradesmen, same way, carpenters, electricians, they look like their business. They're, which is ironic because you wear a business suit to the office, but people see business suits and they don't really think business. They think, oh, he's just dressed nice. He's wearing a suit. He's dressed up, but they don't necessarily connect, oh, it's business. But when you wear a name tag or you wear a badge or you wear some kind of uniform, yeah, that's business. And people tend not to tell you smell good. Even if you do smell good, they keep it to themselves and they keep going because they're like, okay, he's here for business. He's not here to listen to me talk about his fragrance. So I've only gotten compliments when I'm in my clothes, when I'm running errands out to the store. Maybe I'm at a bar, right? Stuff like that. But just in my daily Monday through Friday coming and going, no, I don't really get the compliments. It's just I don't have the context for it, like most of you guys might. The white collar office workers, those of you who are doing finance or tech or doctors and lawyers, you guys get more opportunities to get compliments on the job than I do. Now, that being said, the fragrances that have gotten me compliments are the most bizarre fragrances ever. Things that you would never think would actually get a compliment. And for starters, one of the most surprising ones, I've mentioned Kouros already, but one of the most surprising ones that's gotten me compliments is a 1973 fragrance called Monsieur Musk by Hubigant. It was originally a flanker to Monsieur Hubigant, but that was discontinued. The flanker took the same basic structure, floral, chypre, but obviously made it musky. So, and they did this by adding a bunch of white musks. So there's nitro musks in there. There's several more no galaxolide fruity musks, nothing like that, but the powdery white musks, the old school vintage, and then there's actual civet because you get some of the civet musk in there too. It's got a bit of a sour sulfuric kind of opening, and then eventually civet calms down. Like with Kouros, it's real pissy at first and then it eventually sort of calms down and kind of melts in. That's kind of what Monsieur Musk does. It comes out the gate real sulfuric and sour. You get the carnation, you get the rose, like a pink bar of Dove soap. If you guys smell Dove soap, the original pink Dove, or Caress is another competing, but that pink sort of carnation-y, rosy kind of soap, it's that. You take that and you put that on top of musk, and then sandalwood and some clove and some other goodies. So it's a very dandy fragrance. It's not a fragrance that you would wear casually. Yet I'm the crazy guy that wears everything everywhere. So I've worn that vintage mid-70s musk dandy fragrance. I've worn it to the grocery store. I've worn it to the nightclub. I've worn it to the movies. It doesn't matter. I've worn it to work. But for some reason, that's one of the really strange ones that has no real business attracting attention of that kind. And I'm talking young people too, not just older folks who recognize the fragrance. I'm talking about just people my age or younger. I've had someone come out and tell me with that fragrance that I smell clean, which again, the civet, right? Bizarre. But they say I smell clean. And then it gets better because then someone else has actually come out and said, oh, you smell really distinguished. I like that. It's really distinguished. And I don't know what they mean by distinguished exactly. It could be a backhanded remark, but I'm going to take it. It's phrased like a compliment to me, so I'm going to take it. And other ones that have gotten me compliments that really shouldn't. Ardea Capucci, Roberto Capucci has gotten me compliments. I've gotten compliments from Red. Giorgio Beverly Hills Red for Men has gotten me compliments. I've gotten them from Quarum, of all things. Why Quarum? But I've gotten compliments from Quarum. And then some things that you would expect. I've gotten compliments from Eternity and from Tommy and stuff like that. But just the fact that such a weird, disparate selection of fragrances, including animalic things and really heavy, mossy things. You know, someone told me I smelled good wearing Encre Noir, and Encre Noir is just pencil shavings. You know, it's vetiver and pencil shavings. But someone thought I smelled nice. Like, yeah, you smell really good in that, whatever that is. And I'm like, oh, this Encre Noir, it smells like Dracula in the forest at night. Okay, again, I'll take it. I'm not going to look a gift horse in the mouth, guys, but it just further proves my point that, you know, you don't need a Zara Wanted or Versace Dylan Blue. You don't need whatever the latest Michael Mallow hotness is or whatever. None of that stuff matters. Navitus. All those guys are just selling you a lie, you know? You don't need this crazy, super fresh, super trendy, super happening. It's in the now, bro. It's in the now. Like, you don't need that. None of that. People don't care about that. I guarantee you the person who's complimenting you on your fragrance has no idea that some clown guy with slicked back hair with a million YouTube subscribers even put the fragrance out and sold it to you with like a sponsored link. They don't even know that or care that. All they know is you smell pleasant and I think you look nice and I want to let you know that you've made an impression on me, and that's kind of all they care about. And then chances are, like I said, they have other business. They want to ask you out. They have something more pragmatic to say, whatever. It's, once again, it's just a means to an end, guys. It's not usually the point of giving someone a compliment is a fragrance non-starter, pun intended. You know, it's not really necessarily someone is trying to draw attention to your good taste in fragrances. They're trying to get your attention so they can say something else to you. They have other, again, once more, last time, I'm not going to keep repeating myself here, but they have other business with you. So as long as you just smell pleasant, like I said, you smell like you know what a bar of soap is, and you smell like you're not afraid to take a shower once a night, you know, you can just layer up, like I said, a bunch of body sprays and deodorants and a good shampoo. Go buy the American Crew products and use the American Crew shower gel, the American Crew soap, the American Crew hair dressing, whatever. Layer all that crap together, and then people will compliment you. They won't know it's not a fragrance. They'll think it's a cologne you're wearing. They won't know that it's a bunch of things compiled together. It just doesn't matter. Another one is Z14. I've gotten compliments wearing Z14. It's another one that you wouldn't expect people to go, hey man, you smell really nice, because it's such an old fragrance, and people in the community are like, oh, that's an old man scent, right? The person who complimented me didn't know or care that it was an old fragrance. They had no concept of that. So there you go. Like I said, not a super long video. I mean, longer than 15 minutes, but that's it. You know, I try to keep them under 20. Under 30 at the most. You know, I don't like to run them. YouTube penalizes you if you go over 30 minutes, right? So they stick you in the black hole oubliette of forget-me-not land if you go over 30 minutes. So I try to do that. So this has been my take on compliments, and I hope you enjoyed it. You have a good one.